If we are working with circuits, then we have to know about voltage divider methods. What is voltage divider? If there is a input voltage V and in circuit there is a two resistance in series, the input voltage V splits into two parts. There's V1 and V2. Across R1 the voltage drop is V1, and across R2 the voltage drop is V2, and we know V, if it is V1 and it is V2, the sum of V1 and V2 is equal to V. It is a KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law. And what is a V1? It has a very simple formula. We know the V1 is equal to the input voltage into what resistance across V1 is R1 by R1 plus R2. The respective resistance R1 and R2. And what is the V2? It's a simple V into R2 R1 plus R2. We can calculate this V1 and V2, and we have to if we know the V1, there is a 5 voltage, so we can by calculating this formula we can understand, we can find out the R1 and R2 also by putting R1 and R2 with different variations. We can get many V1 and V2 output voltage. We can vary output voltages like this. If we collect this from here and from here, it is a V2, though it is V2, then it is, if it is in a circuit, going in the circuit, and it is ground, then by this, if we varying out voltage here, then V2 can vary also. It is a very usual thing for circuit theories, and if we know about V2, and if there is another part, that's if there is a input voltage V and there is 3 resistance, what is the exact it is R3, it is R2, and it is R1, and if it is V, what is the input voltage? It is across, it is V1, across it is V2, across it is V3. What is V2? It is simple, it is V into R2 by R1 plus R2 plus R3. Simple. Okay, so sum of all resistance, the voltage across R2 or voltage across the predicted resistance by sum of all resistance into supply voltage. This is the formula. And if we understand, if we know about the current division method, this is the voltage division method, and there is a current division method also. If it is a supply voltage and a current is split into 2 parts, we know current is a current I, and it is not splitting because the current splits only parallel circuit. It is a series circuit. In series circuit voltage splits, and in parallel circuit current splits. So it's a parallel circuit, and if it is R1 and it is R2, then it is ground, and if it is plus and minus and V, so what is this? if it is I, and it should be I1, it is I2. Okay, the current splits into two parts, I1 and I2, and I1 plus I2 is I, equal to I. And what is the formula of I1? I1 is equal to I into R2 by R1 plus R2, and I2 is equal to I into R1 by R1 plus R2. Just like that, we can calculate the current division like this. What should be the current of from this path? I1. This is the formula. This is the formula. And what is the current from this path? This is the formula. Okay. And if we want to know what is the voltage division here, if it is V1 across R1, the formula is this. And what is the V2? The formula is this. Okay. We have a circuit. We have a circuit like this, and here is a plus minus 12 volt DC, and we need here 6 volt. Suppose here it is 6 volt. How can you draw? How can we draw? We have to maintain R1 and R2 same. If R1 is equal to R2, then we can find, we just remember our voltage. If it is a V2, suppose it is V2, it is V1, we know V2 is equal to V into R1 by R1 plus V2 R2 by R1 plus R2. And if R1 is equal to R2, then we can put this R2. If R1 is equal to R2, then it can be represented by V2 is equal to V R2 by 2 R2. So it can be cancelled, and V by 2 is equal to, if it is V2, if it is V is 12 volt, then by 2 6 volt. Okay, it can be measured by this. Our prediction, our need is 6 volt here, so by this help we can find out this 6 volt, and we can draw this circuit here. We can draw the voltage from here and make a circuit for this. What is the exact in practical, though it is working or not. Okay, just a minute please. Let's watch. I have two resistance of 1K, and it is, just see, it is 1K. It is 0.969, and it is 0.962. My supply voltage it is 15 volt DC, Okay, I'm just trying to put this voltage here and joint my, it is in series. I'm just showing you. I'm showing you how it is working, how a voltage divider can work. I will get approx 7 voltage apart, and I can divide it with 7 voltage because I am using these two resistance equal. It's 0.96 each. I'm just omitted the second digit after point. Okay, now you can my fixed voltage. You can observe my fixed voltage. 14.25. That's my fixed voltage. Okay. 14.25. So if we check the voltage across R1, it is R1, it is R2, it is R1 and it is R2, and if we check the voltage across R1, let's see what is this. It is 7.1, and here I am observing this. It is also 7.1. Okay, so we can split this 14 voltage, and we check the input voltage here. It's 14.3. Okay, nearly we can see by the voltage divider method we can split the voltage which is here, which is 14, and by two voltages V1 and V2. V1 is 7 volt and V2 is 7 volt, and it is very easy to create a voltage split into the circuit. Okay, thanks for watching.